All right, here we go. Pick 6, Week 5, 2012 NFL season. We're going to dive right on in. Our first matchup is the 4-0 Houston Texans at the 2-2 New York Jets. What? What's that? Tebow. Tebow time? Very possibly could be, because the Jets don't have any other playmakers. They need Tebow to be their savior, just like he was in Denver. Is it going to happen against this Houston defense? No, not this week. Sorry, Tebow. Not happening. Houston in a rout. Just too many injuries for the Jets to be able to make any type of stand. Their only hope is the fact that it is on a prime time matchup, and maybe they can get the crowd behind them. Maybe they can somehow get a quick score with some trickery, maybe a huge return of some sorts. But Houston just has too much offensively and defensively for that to even be an option at all this week. So Houston, big at New York. Our second matchup we have is the 2-2 Seattle Seahawks at the 1-3 Carolina Panthers. This is a big matchup for two people in particular, both quarterbacks, Russell Wilson, Cam Newton. If Cam Newton wants to be more than a fantasy football wonder kid, he's got to step up and make this happen at home against a rookie quarterback in Russell Wilson. And if Russell Wilson wants to keep his job for another week, he's going to have to step up and make some plays, because the word up in Seattle is Matt Flynn might be our boy, just because Russell Wilson isn't making enough plays. So, who's it going to be, Cam or Russell? It's going to be Cam. He's going to be able to make those big plays that Russell Wilson just isn't going to be able to make when it comes down to crunch time. It's going to be a close game because Seattle's defense is really good. Don't forget that. And you may say what you want about Green Bay getting screwed in that job with the refs, but Seattle's defense absolutely held Green Bay's massive attack. Well, not so massive this year, but you know what I mean. Historically good offense to nothing, or next to nothing. So I've got Carolina close with the win. Our next matchup we're going to go to is the Buffalo Bills, that are 2-2, tied for first place somehow. I mean, I know tiebreakers say that they're like in third place, but they do have the same record as the Jets and as the New England Patriots, who crushed them last week. But the 2-2 Buffalo Bills, all the way out at the San Francisco 49ers, who happen to be 3-1. And this one, last week, you saw it happen. Ryan Fitzpatrick, he imploded. Just imploded in the second half against New England. It was, I don't want to say sad, it was ugly. It was ugly. And Buffalo's three-headed rushing machine didn't do that well against New England. But like I said, New England had a revamped defense, and it's showing some teeth this season. And they're going to be going out to San Francisco. And again, this one's not going to be pretty, just like the Houston-New York game. This one isn't going to be pretty. You're looking at San Fran by 10 to 14 points. They're just going to annihilate Buffalo because Fitzpatrick, he tries to be Brett Favre without the arm strength. He tries to put balls in spots that he just can't. And it happens, but you got to learn to play within yourself. Sometimes it's better to be Trent Dilfer than it is to be Brett Favre. Guess what? They both have one Super Bowl victory apiece. Oh well. Our next matchup is the 4-0 Atlanta Falcons at the 2-2 Washington Redskins. Now, this should be, I should say, a very solid victory for the Atlanta Falcons. They're just firing on all cylinders. Their defense is stout, and their offense is just, it moves the ball whenever it feels like it. Last week against the Panthers, I mean, you saw that final drive for the game-winning field goal for Atlanta. 1 yard line. Matt Ryan just flicks the ball down the field about 60 yards to Roddy White, who jumps up between two defenders and snags it. And that puts him in primo position to win that game. There is a reason he's called Matty Ice. And you saw it there. A lot of quarterbacks would choke on the 1 yard line, not him. He chucked it down the field like it was nobody's business, and it paid off. And that's what good quarterbacks do. They don't think about what could be, they just do. Whereas Washington, RG3, they're 2-2. You know, they're 1 game back of the Eagles for first place in the NFC East. So this is a big matchup for them. We will see what happens, but rookie quarterback against a veteran defense, Atlanta's they're on a roll, and it's going to continue to roll. They're going to win by at least 7 at Washington. Atlanta will, putting them to 5-0. Our next matchup is the 3-1 Philadelphia Eagles at the 1-2 Pittsburgh Steelers. This particular matchup is interesting because you now have Troy Polamalu coming back for the Pittsburgh Steelers after missing 2 games, and you have possibly James Harrison playing for the first time this season, and a possible appearance by Rashard Mendenhall running the ball in the backfield for the Steelers for the first time this season since his knee injury at the end of last year. Now, the interesting, I don't want to say it's a key fact, but an interesting stat here, since 1990, Pittsburgh is 19-3, their win-loss record, coming off a bye. So, and this is a very important game for them. If they even want to think about contending in the AFC North this year, they have to win this game. They can't fall to 1-3 when Baltimore is going to win, and it looks like Cincinnati should win as well. They got to keep it close, so they have to win just like the other two. Whereas Philadelphia, they are leading the NFC East, and they are a turnover machine, except for last week where Vic didn't turn the ball over. Looked really good. So if Vic doesn't turn the ball over and plays smart, they have a very, very good chance of beating this Pittsburgh Steelers team. Now, it is going to be close, but statistics don't lie. If Vic has any turnovers, they're going to have a hard time winning. And also, 19-3. You know, that's 22 years. That's a history. After a bye, 19-3. I'll take that any day until it doesn't work anymore. So I got the Steelers in a close one. Probably the last second field goal gives them the win. And we move on to our final matchup of the week. The 2-2 Denver Broncos at the 2-2 New England Patriots. Here we go. Manning, Brady. Woo! Yeah. For about the 150th time, it seems. They always match up. But that's what winners do. They always play each other. That's just how it goes down. And to be honest with you, this should be a New England victory by 13. You heard it here. I don't even think it's going to be particularly close. There's just something about Peyton Manning that brings out the absolute best in Tom Brady. And this is at home, and he might have Hernandez back, so they'll be at full strength offensively for the first time since week 1, I believe. So we will see what happens. But I'm saying New England by 13. I don't even think it's going to be close. I think Peyton's going to have to score a late touchdown just to bring it within 13, in all honesty. And you might call me crazy, but that is just how I see it. So, reviewing. Houston at New York, Houston wins. Seattle at Carolina, Carolina wins. Buffalo at San Francisco, San Francisco wins. Atlanta at Washington, Atlanta wins. Philadelphia at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh wins. And Denver at New England. New England wins. There you have it. Week 5 wrapped up for you in a nutshell. Till next week.